I think the American use of the word freedom is ironic, because the more we, quote, defend our freedom, the more unfree we become as citizens. Think about when the war on terror began. Immediately there was very restrictive legislation called the Patriot Act, which infringes on our freedom, on our personal rights, our personal anonymity, and the freedom to pursue what we want to pursue. And it all of a sudden introduced things like being arrested without any reason, put in prison without trial. And you know, in the process of bringing freedom to the world, we lose it. So I don't think Americans are particularly free. I consider myself free to the extent that I have not yet been harassed. I feel I can think what I want to think, I can believe what I want to believe, but I can do that in any country. Thoughts are free, you know. And I don't need a big brother to watch over me in order to have that kind of freedom. I feel free in the sense that I don't suffer from poverty, and I am free to move whenever the United States doesn't restrict my movement into a particular area, you know. And I'm free to have my own opinions on the government and on the news that is being presented to us, which I consider very biased. It doesn't, it protects the American image, but it doesn't tell the truth about a lot of things. Palestine and Israel is one example, you know. I mean, why would we support a person who acts like a little Hitler? A lot of people are unfree in the United States because they cannot make an informed decision, because they don't care what's going on the other side of the world. Or, you know, it's just little items in the news that they hear, but they don't really care about poverty in this country, for instance, you know, and the gun control issue and things of that nature. People just don't care. The richer they get, the more callous they are, you know. Talk about the Koch brothers, you know. Wow. That was one of the first things that surprised me when I came to the United States in 1959. I immigrated from Germany. And that's one of the first things I noticed, that people know very little outside their community or outside of their state. And I don't know whether that's because the country is so big. My father, for instance, watched the news in Spanish, in French, in English, and in German. Not that he understood all these languages, he only understood a little bit, but he understood enough and put it with the images that he could see that they are different. They present different ideas and different points of view. And I think people don't want to be disturbed. Now think about all the tirades that are against the gays now. It's just a matter of, you're different and I don't understand it, and therefore it frightens me, you know. And the same with all kinds of things. Communist. There are a lot of good things about communism, or socialism anyway. But you name the word socialist and people fly a kite. I mean, just go, woo! I was translating for a woman who came from Guatemala. She came to the United States under a different name and I don't even know her real name, but with the name that she used, I know. And she came because she wanted to tell what's going on in El Salvador. Well, I was translating for her, and at Holland's College, and the press was interviewing her, and I was the in between, you know. And the reporter asked her, "So what do you do in your country?" And I said, "Well, we have literacy classes for people who don't have literacy." "Oh, you're a communist." And she said, "What else do you do?" I mean, we have prenatal clinics for women who are pregnant, and child care and things like that, and we do a lot of things cooperatively because we have more strength that way, supporting one another. And he says, "So you are a communist?" And she said, finally, after several times her saying, you know, I mean him saying, "You're a communist," she said, "Sir, I don't know what you mean by that name. We call it Christian." You know, if you take care of one another, then here you are a communist.